Disney and Roy O. Disney founded the company with the name Disney Brothers Cartoon Studio in October of 1923 with the creation of the character Oswald, which legally did not belong to Walt. The company started in animation and then expanded into other live-action films. Mickey Mouse, one of the company's first characters, became the company's most recognizable symbol.
Today, the company is known as the Walt Disney Company, and Disney for short. Disney now owns media networks like ESPN and ABC, parks and resorts around the world, studio entertainment such as Pixar, Marvel, and Touchstone Pictures, and customer stores and services. We celebrate Walt Disney Recognition Day every December 5th. Disney has a great influence in our society through the movies and shows they produce with stereotypes and discrimination.
Disney was not controversial at the time the movies were created because most of those stereotypes were accepted at the time. But in today's society, these stereotypes, gender roles, are not accepted.
One of the most malleable times in someone's life is when they are kids. So whatever you're exposed to as a child is reinforced and lasts with you. Kids who see these gender roles get a glimpse of their future and come to believe that this is what society expects out of them and out of women.
As said before, kids are influenced by what they watch when they are young, and so they come to believe the racial stereotypes shown in Disney movies.
How often did you watch Disney as a child or even now?
When I was a kid, I would go home and watch it every day, but now I don't watch it at all.
What's your favorite Disney movie?
I would have to say The Little Mermaid, just because I always love singing along with the song.
What's your favorite Disney TV show?
Probably Hannah Montana.
Good choice.
It's a really obvious choice. You can't have anything.
Alright. Do you believe that Disney has affected you in any way?
I think that it affected me in a big way, just with all the lessons it taught me. Any TV show will affect you as a kid.
Can you think of any stereotypes presented in Disney's production?
There were definitely a lot of racial stereotypes, considering most of the princesses were white. There was Mulan and now they're getting better with that.
One of the first films that Disney created was Snow White in 1937, which displays gender stereotypes. Snow White is depicted as a domesticated woman excelling at household chores such as cooking and cleaning, while the 7 dwarves are shown as useless.
4 years later, Dumbo was released. The crows, colored black, match all the stereotypical beliefs of an African American. For example, the way African Americans speak and act. A musical number in the movie also includes black workers singing about being slaves until they are dead. In 1950, Cinderella was created. It is known as a classic movie, but Cinderella sends a message to young girls everywhere that in order to find a man and break free from poverty, one must be attractive and glamorous, dolling up for men.
Although most of Peter Pan is upbeat and fun, the Native Americans have an inaccurate depiction of what their life was truly like.
Make Peter Pan heap big chief. You now, little flying eagle.
Sleeping Beauty depicts a woman who could do nothing but spin. It also displays a woman who needs a man to save her from distress. Besides Sleeping Beauty, there are 3 fairies who are not so bright. Further, most of the female characters have witch-like powers. This stereotype derives from the Salem witch trials, in which women were accused of witchcraft. Other Disney products that have this theme include That's a Raven and Twitches.
Jungle Book, released in 1967, features a number of movements during the time period that also reflect Walt Disney's own and famously conservative views. The animated movie pokes fun at liberal parenting, completely lacks female characters, which can be seen as a response to the feminist movement, and associated the monkeys with the civil rights movement, even having the monkeys show a desire to be more like a man or more like a white man. The images of the monkeys actually have similarities with the racist cartoons of the 1800s, furthering the point that there was a heavy set of racism in the film.
The Little Mermaid marks the beginning of the generational gap between the Disney princesses movies. Unlike the past, Ariel is independent and shows qualities that women are not necessarily supposed to have. Although Ariel is a great breakthrough in Disney movies, women are still outspoken by men. The most prominent example is Ariel's father, who controls what Ariel can and cannot do.
Don't you take that tone of voice with me, young lady. As long as you live under my ocean, you'll obey my rules.
Beauty and the Beast features an independent female, Belle, who likes to read and is intelligent, while the other characters in the movie see Belle as an outsider for being independent. This continues the history of scoffing at women with ideas of her own. Anne Hutchinson is one of the first women who is punished for having her opinion heard. She was kicked out of the colony. And a more recent example is the feminist movement in the 1960s. The women trying to gain rights were ridiculed and not listened to. Belle is forced to save her father, who is displayed as incapable of doing anything for himself. More, Belle demonstrates that girls and women should stay in an abusive relationship until the man changes, seeing that the Beast turns from an angry abuser to a gentle prince.
Following Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin is the next Disney movie which came out in 1992. Aladdin contains many misrepresentations of the setting and its people. Jasmine wears provocative clothing that, while may be considered more attractive, also objectifies the woman of the time. The movie is presumed to take place in an Arabic country or kingdom, yet all the characters are almost white with a deep tan, not even close to an accurate representation of Middle Eastern citizens.
The Lion King portrays being light as good and being dark as bad. The antagonist of the movie is a lion with dark hair. On the other hand, the protagonists and victims are all light-haired or have red hair.
Although Pocahontas is the first movie to make a Native American the protagonist, it inaccurately portrays the struggle between the Native Americans and the Europeans. At points in the movie, it seems that the Native Americans and the Europeans are equal aggressors, which ended in a peaceful truce, disregarding the genocide of the Native Americans. The movie also portrays unbacked Native American beliefs, thus inaccurately describing the Native American culture.
Similar to Pocahontas, Mulan is the first movie that recognizes Asian culture and heroism in a positive sense. But there are still stereotypes. Most, if not all, the Emperor says sounds like it comes from a fortune cookie with an emphasized accent that is stereotypical to the Chinese. The villains in the movie, the Huns, are extremely dehumanized with yellow eyes and gray skin. For the most part, Mulan demonstrates Disney trying to stray from its more prejudiced past and show that women can do what men can do.
The next princess movie is The Princess and the Frog, which hit theaters in 2009. This movie is one of the first movies to have two African American leads and one of the few movies where there is little prejudice. Unlike in the past where blacks were considered lazy, Tiana, the main character, is shown as an ambitious and hardworking woman that is trying to overcome the obstacles of the time period. Even the male lead, Naveen, although is lazy at the beginning, by the end learns the meaning of hard work. The most obvious stereotype in the movie is that, unlike Tiana, Naveen does not share most of the common African American facial characteristics, possibly suggesting Disney did not want to completely surrender to having a black male in a position of true power.
Tangled, a movie that portrays the tale of Rapunzel, also has prominent stereotypes. Rapunzel's most significant characteristic is her long blonde hair, making her beautiful with the blonde hair and blue eyes combination. Rapunzel's hair is cut off at the end of the movie, which turns her hair ragged and brown. Rapunzel goes from illuminating and enrapturing blonde to a considerably less attractive brunette, representing the belief that blonde hair is considered the most desirable and most attractive part of a woman. In addition, the tale in general has the idea that women need men to save them from their situations. In this specific case, the male is a criminal, suggesting that females should trust wanted criminals.
Another movie with a controversial topic is Bambi, which talks about death. Although the main character uses this to overcome adversity, some feel that death is too serious of a topic for the children that the movie targets.
Once the Disney Channel was made, there were some TV shows aimed for kids' entertainment that shows racism and stereotypes. Handy Manny is racist towards Hispanics. There's a common stereotype that Hispanics are construction workers. Handy Manny features Manny, a Hispanic construction worker who speaks Spanish, to some of his talking tools. The Proud Family is a TV show about an African-American family. The show itself has little discrimination, but Disney showed dislike to the show as a whole. The Proud Family is the first Disney children's cartoon which did not premiere on network television, which had been done since 1984 when the television animation unit was started. It marked the first animated Disney Channel original series and, incidentally, the only original animated series from Disney Channel not associated with and to be produced exclusively by Disney's television animation arm. Although Disney did not intend to, they let their beliefs and the period's beliefs into their movies. At the time, it was okay, but now people are more tolerant, and it has become evident how unacceptable the stereotypes and racial digs are in the movies.